It is 6:30. I will call the May 3rd, 2022 Board of Public Works and Utilities to order. First action is roll call. Starting with Mayor Kim Smith.
Present.
Larry Jurassic.
Present.
Jared Holter.
Here.
And Karen Markwart.
Yep.
And then myself, Alderman Stephen Knott, is also present. At this time, I'll consider action on minutes from the previous meeting.
Move to approve.
Second. We have a motion by Jared and a second by Larry. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. I do want to also make note that Diane Wolf is also present. Do we have anyone on the other elected officials online that I should recognize?
Leanne Stokes is on.
Ann Stokes? Any others?
No.
Okay. All right. This time I'll move on to item number 3, which is public input. If you would like to provide public input, you will be limited to 3 minutes. Please identify yourself with your name and your address. Is there anyone here who would like to provide public input? Second call for public input. Anyone online?
One online.
Okay. Third and final call for public input. Public input is closed. Next, we'll move on to agenda item number 4, which is the election of officers. I will entertain motions for nominations. First for the chair.
I would make a motion to nominate Steve Knott for the Chair of Board of Public Works.
I'll second.
Do we have any other nominations? Okay, we have a motion by Jared to nominate myself, seconded by Mayor Smith. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. Then I'll accept nominations for a vice chair. I'll nominate Larry Jurassic. I'll make a motion to nominate Larry Jurassic for vice chair.
Second that motion.
Any other nominations? All right. We have a motion by myself, seconded by Jared to nominate Larry Jurassic for the vice chair. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next is number 5, bids received for the 2022 City Hall air conditioning upgrade project. I'll turn it over to Jared.
Thank you. Tonight I have handed out bid tabulation from the bid opening that was held today for the installation of the AC unit at City Hall. That bid, there was 2 bidders today. We did have Wisconsin Mechanical Solutions and Winona Heating and Ventilating. With that, the low bidder was Winona Heating and Ventilating, $54,190. The staff had purchased the actual condensing unit through a bidding company. I'm going to have Dan come up because Dan's been leading that purchase of the actual equipment. And then also as part of this, Dan wants to update the board on where we're at budget wise and possibility of doing some more work.
Dan?
So in our work with Trane replacing this unit, we were able to work with a cooperative purchasing agency called Omni and Partners that has a contract and we could work directly with them. So we, when we were looking at this and we got quotes through the budget process, we worked with a local contractor. They gave us a budget estimate of about $190,000 to replace this unit. And plus told us that we would not have the unit probably for 7 or 8 months once we issued the purchase order to go. By moving forward with Omni and Partners and the direct purchasing group, we cut that down instead of months to weeks. And so we actually have the coil already, and the the air conditioning unit is supposed to be delivered now the 2nd of June. Just an update we received today. But as you can see with the air conditioning unit was 37,000 and something. So if you use 38,000 plus the 54, we're roughly 92,000. We have roughly $100,000 left. I've already been in contact with Train and Omni and Partners to get a price for another direct purchase to see if we can replace our 50-ton. We're replacing the 40-ton at this time, but looking at a price to replace the 50-ton, potentially get them both done this year with the money that we have allocated.
Okay.
And Brian is here for more technical questions if you have any with it, but I've just been handling, getting the pricing and getting the stuff done.
Any questions for Dan before I entertain a motion?
Yeah, Jared, on page 3 here, it's got approved, no. Am I missing something?
Page 3 was the plan holders list at the time of when the packet went out. So the plan holders list did not include some of the bidders. They had went to the plan exchange rooms to get the plans. So that was our plan holders list at the time of the packet went out.
Okay, I will entertain a motion.
I would make a motion that we approve the installation of the AC equipment to Winona Heating and Ventilating in the amount of $54,190.
I'll second it.
Motion by Jared, seconded by Larry to approve the bid by Winona Heating and Ventilating Incorporated for $54,190. Do I have any discussion? Karen, do you have any issues with this?
Do not.
Okay.
Steve?
Yes.
With what Dan brought forward, we will look into the price of another unit, compile that. And if it is favorable, and we feel we can do it within budget, we'll bring it to the next Board of Public Works meeting for possible approval to go out and bid out a second project.
I think that,
And then if we get that approval, we bid out the project, we would then look at how the bids look as far as if they would be favorably within what we have budgeted.
if it can come within the budgeted amount, I think that would, personally, I think that'd be wise. These things are going to go up substantially by next year, so. Okay. All right, so we have a motion to approve and that's been seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 6, the City Hall generator replacement upgrades.
I'll start this. As you know, we had a power outage 3 weeks ago. City Hall was out of power during that time. We actually had some issues going on with the transfer switch. There's 2 transfer switches for the generator. One of them was not working. Once the power went out, we lost our life safety items such as the hallway lights and the exit lights for the building. Part of that brought us to a discussion internally with staff. As you know, we discussed the addition of a city hall generator quite extensively at the capital improvements budget. And it was one of the last items that was taken out. So we thought, because of this, we thought it was prudent to bring it back at least for discussion at the board meeting and go through it a little bit, just to look at what the updated costs are. We're looking at, in your packet tonight, I put in an opinion of probable cost of $540,000 approximately. I think that's, the contingency is very high on that. Looking at it, I think it could come in somewhere between the 450 and the 540 if we actually were to move forward with it. With that, we also looked at design costs and things such as that if we wanted to move forward with such a project. What we really found out with that power going out, and which we knew already, is that the life safety items and the certain outlets in the building work. It's a very limited power supply. and being in the building for about an hour after the power outage, and it was approximately 45 degrees outside, it already got stuffy and almost unusable in the building. So we just want to bring that forward, discuss it. If there's any recommendations the board would like to make as far as moving forward with the generator, waiting till the next budget, we just wanted to update them. I also wanted to, Brad Newmeister is here from our city inspection department, and just update us a little bit, if we can, on the status of the current generator is all functioning. If Brian could nod his head, yeah, it's all functioning. It is all working. We did get our parts in and it's all repaired. So we are totally functioning with the current generator. But just with what it brought about, I think Brad wants to add just a little bit about the life safety stuff. And if the generator goes out, that basically City Hall cannot be occupied. So.
Hello, everyone. I'm Brad Newmeister, lead building inspector for the city of Onalaska. Just want to go on record that in the event that one of the transfer switches fails again or the generator becomes inoperable, City Hall will need to be closed to the public and to personnel.
Okay,
Any
yeah,
questions, but that's
we saw that this last time too. So, yeah,
just a simple.
okay. And until such a time as power comes back on.
No. Thanks for that question, but if we do not have our life safety intact, the building cannot be occupied. When Xcel Energy turns back on, the building is still inadequate with its life safety side. So to be clear, it will be down until either we put in new battery lights or new generator equipment or bring in a rental.
Okay, until repairs or some other mitigation takes place,
Yep.
so that we have emergency backup.
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense.
In the current status of material, it may be 6 to 12 months, depending on what you can get put back in. So this could shut down City Hall for an inevitable amount of time.
Well, I know that this was a contentious issue during the budget process last time, and this was one of the last things dropped. I suspect it'll be brought to the forward during the budget cycle this year. So, any other questions of Brad? I guess I have a question. What would be our, I guess, contingency? Because obviously city business would have to continue to go on. How would we be able to address that if a worst case scenario took place? Thanks, Eric. Thank you, Brad. Some of the specifics as to our approaches, I'll let Brad answer here, as well as Dan and Jared. There are some lists here that to make it code compliant. I think the big concern is, as we knew, generator is functioning. We decided to go the direction of replacing the switches instead of the generator. Well, the generator works. We don't have a system in place that makes sure that the generator keeps the entire building occupiable, that's the new bit of information that we did not have last year as we did the capital projects. And the big concern about it not being operable is twofold. One is exactly as you mentioned, although not, we need to be open for city business at some point in time. We can't do this remotely. And the second one, though, is this building is also an emergency operations center. So the power goes out, and where we're supposed to be locating ourselves to manage the emergency would be in itself in a building that's unoccupiable. And that's also something that we weren't anticipating. We knew that limited power would be a problem, but the impact of the HVAC not working and the severe lack of power to a limited number of laptops and workstations and telephones and key fob, secure areas meant that after an hour we were completely shut down. So I do think it's worth the conversation. If it does come back in a budget cycle, if again the intent is to use the ARPA funds that we have set aside, either in the future or now, knowing that there could be up to 40 to 50 week lead time on these items.
the sooner we do that, the better, which is why staff will at least have a conversation now is to see if that intention of the council would be to possibly do it next year, is to maybe advance that and use the ARPA funds this year. If you want to talk about the specifics, we can do.
I don't know that, I'm sorry, Brad, I don't know that that answered my question. I was wondering what would our contingency options be to maintain at least a minimal service here?
So I've got some for you.
Okay, got it. Okay.
So I provided this to Dan and Brian and Jared in the event that we were not going to be able to get our transfer switch operational 2 weeks ago. And the simplest way would be to provide and install approximately 42 combination exit emergency lights with battery backup and 41 two-headed egress lights, battery backup throughout the egress paths in City Hall, police and fire areas.
Okay.
And rough estimates are probably $15,000 to $20,000
Okay.
for that. And parts of currently are available. This currently could happen
Okay.
as a backup right now.
That's something we could probably afford if necessary then.
Yeah.
Okay. Karen, would that be any issue to come up with 15 to 20,000 for an emergency?
I don't believe so.
I don't think so. Okay. But that would still leave us with probably a certain number of days where the city hall would be closed. I think it would be, in some ways, this might be providing an opportunity. It might be wise over the course of the next weeks to months to maybe talk with the staff and see if maybe we can come up with a alternate process. It's probably not gonna be a location. I mean, this building could be hit with a tornado. I mean, there's things that could happen. It would be nice to have something on file that is ready to execute if something were to happen. And this might have actually brought that up. So wondering maybe, put that on an agenda for next month, maybe. Okay. All right. Any other questions of Brad or of Eric?
Steve, are you talking about something like the armory or something like that? Another
Well,
position altogether?
I don't know what the answer would be. And I think that to have any real discussion, we'd have to get it onto a agenda item. But I do think it would, I mean, it's not just the power. The building could be, something could go wrong with the building. And in which case we still would need to continue city operations. It might be nice to have a defined contingency plan that is beyond this building. Okay. All right. Any other questions?
I do want to add one thing. Licensed electricians would have to do the work. We can't do that ourselves. Just to make sure that that's clear, that it's not a one-for-one replacement. There is electrical wiring involved, or we're gonna have to add power to these units if you go with the lighting.
Would that be included within that 15 to 20K estimate? Okay. Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item is an update on citywide fiber cable installation by TDS Telecom and MetroNet. Jared.
Pass this one over to Kevin Schubert, our assistant city engineer. He's been diligently working on all the permitting for these projects, so I'm going to let him give an update.
Yeah, just thought it'd be a good time to let the board know and council members know, give a little update. Over the last year, the city of Onalaska was bought by two different telecommunications company wishing to install fiber optic cabling throughout the city of Onalaska to provide service to residents and business within the city. We sort of over the winter, we went through some of the process, had some discussions with both of these companies on how permitting would go, various construction standards. So just wanted to let everybody know I have started to issue actual permits to both of these companies, and one of the companies, TDS Telecom, is actively under construction currently. So in tonight's packet is just some overview maps that are included in each of their permits, and it just shows you sort of where some of these locations of infrastructure are being installed currently. TDS is currently, they had started along Oak Forest Drive, Wilson Street, and they are currently progressing up 12th Avenue South and have now crossed over Main Street onto Sand Lake Road. They have a couple other issued for the Crossing Meadows area, and the other firm, MetroNet, does have a few permits approved at the time of publication. This was the only one they had, but I have since issued a couple more since the agenda was posted. The few areas for MetroNet are really the Holiday Heights subdivision, a little work along South Kenny Cooley, and then out to the eastern extent of South Kenny Cooley Road in that area. They have yet to begin work, MetroNet. And I think they are planning to start up in May or the first part of June. So just wanted to bring this to everybody's attention that this is ongoing in case the city does get calls on it. I have been in contact with department heads, letting them know that. I would like to, while we're here on the record, TDS Telecom has given the city a toll-free number that residents can call. If they have complaints, damage to their yard, something that TDS will track and give city the records. So that number, if residents or anybody need to get a hold of something associated with the TDS Telecom fiber optic install, is 1-855-259-8576. I guess I'd open up the questions. 76, Larry. Yeah. So with that, I guess I'd open up to if anybody had any questions or if anybody had any comments on what's currently going on with these two telecommunication companies installing infrastructure with it.
Any
Alderman.
questions? Yes.
This is Kim Smith. I have been in communication with Alex Wagner, who is the field marketing representative from the TDS fiber company. And he will be attending the Onalaska Common Council meeting and introduce himself during the public input, so that counselors have and the public have an opportunity to meet him.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments or questions? All right, move on to item number 8, pay estimates. I'll entertain a motion. And I'll make a motion. I will move to approve the pay estimates as presented to the board. 11 items. I have a second.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. That concludes the Public Works portion. We now move on to utilities. I notice on item number 9, there is no report. So we will then, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
I can second that.
A motion to adjourn by Larry, seconded by Mayor Smith. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. It is 6:53.